I invite you to be seated, but don't get too comfortable because we're going to move around today. So it is the second Sunday in the season of creation. And last week, we kind of summed up Jesus's call to us, take up your cross and follow me, because in losing your life, you gain it, and in gaining your life, you lose it. We summed that up as we're all in this together, and that means we need to act like it. You know, we all kind of know what that means, and some of the things we need to do. And it's about, like we heard today, loving your neighbor as yourself. But it's hard, right? It's hard. And it takes that opening up of our hearts. It takes a sacramental transformation. And it's something that goes beyond just us in this room, doesn't it? It feels out of our range. So today I thought, since we heard that sacramental reading from Exodus, that we would, instead of talking about something, because actually Jesus gives us a great sort of, usually Jesus is the one who gives us the ideas that we then need to explicate. But today Jesus actually gives us a good step-by-step. Here's how you go about finding forgiveness in community. So we're going to step back and we're going to do some transformative reflection and prayer in the form of a prayer walk. Now, I didn't write this, I found it, and it's based on Exodus, so it's perfect for us today. We're going to do 3 stages of that. We're going to start over there, then we're going to come here, and then we'll move here. And we'll try to, between the 2 cameras, I think we should be able to keep everybody in the loop. And if you have mobility issues, we'll make sure that we use the microphone so that everybody can be here and participate. Steve, would you be in charge of the bell? Yes, because that's how we'll know to get from one place to another. All right, so does anyone have any questions? All right, when Steve rings the bell, we will prayerfully process to our first station. Feel free to sit if you need to. Yeah. Okay. Is there someone who would be willing to read the first meditation for us? Awesome. Just read, you don't have to read the questions, just the meditation. And let me give you the microphone.
Meditation 1, Escaping Bondage. The story of Exodus begins as a large group of people escape slavery in Egypt. They have suffered time in bondage, unable to be the people they want to be. They have worked solely for the benefit of their captors, never free to work toward their own hopes and dreams. They have been forced to use the soil, water, and grain of Egypt to support a way of living and a ruler that will not last. We too may sometimes feel that we are using the earth's soil, water, and harvest just to build up a grand society that we know will not last. We may work tirelessly to fill up our homes, our workplace, and our land with buildings and objects we don't really need. Yes, Jesus teaches that we should not worry about what we should wear, where we should shelter ourselves, or even what we should eat. Jesus invites us to step away from this kind of bondage, this use of our resources to build up so many things we don't need. Leaving this kind of bondage is difficult. The people in the Exodus story faced years of hardships and setbacks in trying to leave their own bondage. They did not know what the future after bondage would look like, yet they took the gift of freedom to walk away from this bondage and to find a new life. Just for today, we too leave behind our everyday lives. We walk away from everything that ties us down and keeps us working tirelessly to support a way of life we might not have chosen. We walk away into the wilderness where we can be the people God has called us to be.
Thank you. This is our image. Chains. You can see there's a light shining through. In the motive Lectio Divina, just as things bubble up for you, call out all of the resources that we use daily that build up a lifestyle filled with buildings and objects. Disposable plastics.
Waste of water. Food waste. Food.
Amazon.
Fast fashion.
Single use anything.
Batteries.
Now I invite you to name some of the ways that we are in bondage as we use the earth's resources in this way. Fossil fuels.
Pharmaceuticals.
Yeah,
Artificially high housing.
yeah, expensive housing.
By our own society.
Yeah.
The banking system controlled by a small group of people. Yeah, basically.
The insurance industry.
Mm. What would it feel like? Name some feelings. What would it feel like if we were to walk away from this kind of bondage?
Scary.
Isolating.
Isolating, scary. Unsure,
Insecure.
insecure,
It's also free.
free, and
Liberating.
liberating. Yeah. Steve, if you ring the bell for us, we can progress to the center station. Our second station is called Hungry and Thirsty. I don't know if you can see the pictures here. Bread and butter. And it's not an accident that I put it on our Eucharistic altar. Is there someone who would be willing to come forward and read the second one? Jane. Just through to the... Go ahead and turn around. It should be on.
Life was very difficult for the people of the Exodus story after they left Egypt. Hard as slavery had been, they began to miss their old lives. They had worked tirelessly to fulfill Pharaoh's building plans, but they at least had food to eat and water to drink in Egypt. In the wilderness, they had virtually nothing to eat or drink, and they feared they would not survive. Just when their lives of freedom seemed doomed to starvation, the people of the Exodus story found water bursting from rocks. Food fell from the sky in the forms of quail and manna. Living on these natural resources, the people of the Exodus story continued their journey of freedom, walking towards a promised land of abundant resources. They depended on God alone for their food and water, and they had enough to survive. In our lives today, we would find it difficult to live just on the land around us. We would need a source of clean water. We would need to forage for fruits and vegetables in the wild. We would need to hunt animals for meat or go fishing for protein. This type of life would be difficult and time-consuming. We would not have time or energy to do much more. Yet this is the way many people on earth do live, depending on the land around them for life and sustenance. They live very differently from most of us, and many of them live in danger of dying of thirst or starvation.
Thank you. I want you to call out some of the ways that our daily lives would be different if we depended on the land immediately around our homes for our food and our water.
I would starve.
I'd be dead.
Yeah, a lot of us are not equipped for that, are we? We're just not used to it.
I'd figure it out.
You'd figure it
But
out,
it'd be difficult.
but it would be difficult.
Yeah.
We'd be closer to the earth, we'd be more in connection.
More in the rhythm.
Closer to the earth and the rhythms of the earth.
Share bounty more.
We would share, yeah, because we need to care for the people who can't.
Because we'd have to work together. We'd have to be more selective.
We would have to work together because you can't do it all yourself, can you?
No.
You'd have to up and move to other places where there is enough resource.
Yeah, there would be a lot of movement and relocation from there. Name some of the ways that we would treat our immediate environment differently if we were dependent on just this land and water in our neighborhoods for our survival.
We take better care because we have to be more aware of the trash and the consumption and the interactions.
We care for it, we take more care and be more aware.
Get back to the garden.
Yeah, we'd have to plant gardens.
Develop new skills.
Develop new skills.
We would certainly protect what we have.
Protect what we have
Appreciate what we have.
and appreciate it, yeah.
No free time, so you do your work and then you come home and do your work, looking after your plot of land.
It would change how we use our time, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have time to miss the internet.
Yes, less time for the internet.
We would be more present with God.
We would be more present with God.
Guess I'll go here and go to bed later. We'd be in a lot more pain. There'd be aches and pains.
Oh. So I think those two go together. We'd have to rise earlier, go to bed later, or maybe not. Maybe we'd get tired earlier, and we would feel it in our muscles with more aches.
But I
And-
think we'd also be healthier because we'd be eating fruits and vegetables and protein and not all the store-bought packaged stuff.
So name some of the ways that we would feel differently about our food if we were growing it
Appreciate it
ourselves.
more.
Appreciate it, more grateful.
More creative.
More creative.
Yeah.
And I think what I heard from Lisa was we would be more respectful of its dangers as well as its bounty. Yeah. And how we manage that.
Not as much waste.
Not as much
No.
waste.
Make do with less variety.
Less variety.
I would find what my ancestors found, that possums are tasty.
Yeah, we would be aware of some abundance that we've missed around us.
It tastes different when you do it yourself.
It does taste different if we grow it ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We wouldn't be fussy about blemishes.
And we wouldn't be fussy about the blemishes. It wouldn't have to look.
We'd be more mindful of respecting the earth and not randomly cutting trees down and, you know, for our own
More
use.
mindfulness.
Right.
Yeah, of every last thing that's around us.
Mindless eating would not be a thing.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, Catherine, this all sounds wonderful. Sounds like fairyland,
Oh,
because we have all these ideas of how we would live or what we would do different. But would we?
Well, if we were forced to, we would.
Would we? Or would we perish?
well, and that's yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna do a garden. I would hope Susan down the street would pay me. I mean, there's things that you, in your mind, you'd like to do or you feel strong about, and you certainly help anyone you could, but everyone would have to work together.
We would have to work together, wouldn't we?
And some of us wouldn't eat possum.
Yeah.
I mean, they'd rather not be around or whatever it might be, but it would have to be a community of real togetherness and with the Spirit of God and doing the right thing, and that's,
We would have to love our neighbors, wouldn't we?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
But there's still a huge level of insecurity. We see it in the third world now, where you have famines
Mhm.
because the weather has caused problems that year. The crops don't grow, people starve.
We would feel more fragile,
There's
wouldn't
a lot
we?
less
The
security in
fragileness
life.
and the dependency on God and on our environment is closer to home, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, and that's, why a lot of the poorer countries are way richer in the Holy Spirit, because they have to. Blessed are the meek. They have God.
Yeah. It
And
would,
it's almost like they need God more because they don't have it. It's like this weird dichotomy, because is the material more important than God? No.
yeah, it would strip us of our the idea that I can stand on my own and I don't owe anything to
Or
anyone
if
or
I have
anything.
money,
And of
I'll be
materialism.
fine.
And of materialism.
But I think people would be way more resourceful.
Yeah, I think so.
That's what the day together and, that's what it would take.
Yeah. Steve, would you ring the bell so that we could process to our third station, which is over here? Our third station is a mountaintop experience. Does anyone have seats that need seats? Go ahead, feel free to sit if you need to. And we have here a mountain. Do I have a volunteer to read the third reading? Come on up, Valerie.
Midway through their journey to a new life in a promised land, the people in the Exodus story arrived at Mount Sinai. Two things happened there. Their leader, Moses, went to the top of the mountain to be alone with God. He came down from the mountain with a set of rules for right living, the 10 Commandments. Meanwhile, the people of the Exodus fell into sin. They forgot why they had left Egypt and why they journeyed to the promised land. They forgot God. They spent their time building a statue of a calf made out of gold. They even worshipped this gold statue, even though God had provided for their needs in the wilderness and had led them out of slavery in Egypt. We too sometimes forget God. We forget that the creation of our earth has provided us with food, with shelter, with clothes, and with life itself. We forget that it is really important for sustaining our lives. We focus all our attention on shiny new toys or other objects that really do not do much for us. We even focus so much on these objects that we don't think about God or anything or anyone else. But like the people of the Exodus, we have the opportunity to listen to those who call us back to God. We have the opportunity to accept a new set of values and rules for living.
I invite you to call out the ways of living that are wasteful of natural resources.
Commuting.
Private jets.
Say again?
Private jets.
Private jets.
Single-use containers.
Single-use containers.
Plastic straws.
Plastic straws, yeah.
Recycling, period.
Recycling instead of reusing.
Using it again.
Yeah.
Overconsumption.
Overconsumption.
Watering green lawn, just to keep it green.
Lawns.
Yeah, good old golf course, right?
Also taking care of what you have, so you don't have to replace.
Yes.
Yeah, not taking care of what we have. Forcing ourselves to have to replace those things instead.
Unnecessary use of electricity.
Unnecessary use of electricity.
Of what?
Electricity.
Oh.
Long showers.
So name some of the things that distract us from focusing on our basic needs of clean water and healthy food.
Economic insecurity.
Economic insecurity.
Busyness.
Busyness.
Jealousy.
Jealousy, yeah.
The internet.
The internet. That creates false needs, doesn't it?
Keeping up with the Jones.
Keeping up with the Jones. Thank you for that one, Donna Jones.
That was just one of those words that happens to belong to me.
Yeah.
Grudges.
Grudges, yeah.
Wasted energy.
Not forgiving.
Yeah, not wanting to share or forgive.
Worshipping celebrities.
Oh, celebrity culture. That's a good one. That one didn't come up at 8 o'clock. I like that.
Idol worship.
Idol worship. I like that's a yeah. So if you were gonna put together a list of rules, 10 rules, kind of like the commandments that we heard about in our Romans reading, that were rules for taking care of our natural resources, what are some that you would put on that list? And Sam, would you please, do you see the mug of pencils? Would you grab those for me? Because I want to capture these on paper. Thank you. You can post both of them later so you can see what 8 o'clockers said versus what you guys say.
And invite the folks on Zoom.
Yeah, on Zoom too, if you guys have one to contribute.
Go ahead and pop it into the chat so that so that we can capture it for sure.
Yeah, you can write it in the chat, or if you want, you can raise your hand and we'll come to you directly. Does anyone have one?
Recycle everything you can.
Recycle and reuse. Oh, that pencil's not going to work. That one's going to
Conserve.
Okay, recycle, reuse, and conserve.
Buy only what you need.
Buy only what you need.
That's a good one.
Learn to sew. Learn to sew or knit or crochet or weave. But yeah.
Learn some skills for crafting and
Learn to make
Making
stuff.
their own stuff, self-reliance.
Teach everyone, not
Yeah.
just females.
Right.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
nice one.
Knit, craft, make,
Repair.
repair,
Share the excess, especially.
People used to
teach,
do that. They used to
and
make the
share.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Donna, I missed what
I'm
you
just
said.
saying, people used to do that, make clothes, and that's all they had.
Yeah. In this crazy topsy-turvy world, it costs less to buy than it does to make, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Online community, do any of you have one to contribute?
Oh,
Liz is
Liz
Oh,
got
Liz
a
has
mouse.
one.
Mom, you
Let's-
need
let's-
to unmute.
Where's the mouse? Mouse.
Learn technology. Yeah, try to get to a better understanding of what forgiveness is. It's more than just saying, "Oh, it's okay. You didn't mean it." There's got to be this underlying acceptance of what happened, and then moving forward from it. Yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah, because we get things wrong. So understand forgiveness as accepting what happened and finding a path forward. Does that sound right? All right. Is there anyone else in our online community that has one to contribute? All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have space for one more because 8 o'clockers did 5 of them, so we'll have 10. If we can get one more, do we have one more?
Try to conserve driving here and there and try to make one trip.
Oh, I like that.
Driving, plan your trips to the store, not to make a lot of them.
Okay, so combined trips. And we can expand that. Walk,
Yeah.
Yeah.
ride, a bike,
Alternative transportation.
carpool.
Offer to combine those errands with your neighbors.
Use public transport. Invite a neighbor.
We're back to sharing resources again.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I invite you all to return to your seats. I will post, you're going to love this, there's the 8 o'clockers and the 10 o'clockers, and you'll get to see the difference then. Thank you, everyone.
If the 8 o'clockers all said wake up early.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, the wake up early wasn't on the list.
Oh, good.
We need our rest.
Oh, thank you, everyone, for that. God's going to bless you. What did I do with my blessing? Haha. There you go. Loving God, we ask your blessings for our collective journey as people, as humanity, as all creation. Bless each one of us and open our minds and our hearts to continually discover your purposes for each and all of us. Bless us as a community of this region, this nation, this world, and indeed this whole creation. Help us to discern your will for us as we care for the gifts that you have given all of us in Christ's name. Amen.